Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Zoobox, podcast about nonsense. I'm Sean. This is going to be a fun video today. Recently, I did a deep dive analysis, almost a frame-by-frame analysis of the song Deepest Bluest by LL Cool J. And if you don't know, that is a tie-in song for the film Deep Blue Sea, Renny Harlin's 1999 action-adventure sci-fi movie Deep Blue Sea. It stars Thomas Jane, Saffron Burrows, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Rappaport, Jacqueline McKenzie, Stellan Skarsgård, and of course, LL Cool J. The plot synopsis is, searching for a cure to Alzheimer's disease, a group of scientists on an isolated research facility become the prey as a trio of intelligent sharks fights back. So yeah, this came to my attention because I did that weird reaction video analysis. And I just couldn't get out of my head for some reason. I still cannot get the song out of my head. Got my hat's got a shark fin. Over and over and over again in my head. I hear it over and over again. And I was looking for something to watch, and what did I see last night? What did I see? Oh, Deep Blue Sea. I saw it. I was just like, well, we really should finish this journey. It's got about an hour and 40 minutes, really without credits. It's like almost a 90-minute movie. I was like, okay. I like it. We can do this. And it had been a long time since I'd watched Deep Blue Sea. Probably since it came out. Probably since around 1999 or 2000. I did not see it in the theater. I'm assuming I rented it, or my parents rented it or whatever. That's probably when I saw it. So it had been a long time. 20 years. 21 years ago this movie came. Holy shit. Makes me feel old. So it's been about 20 years since I'd seen Deep Blue Sea. And what did I think of it upon revisit? It was okay. It's a schlocky C-tier movie. This is something like the modern equivalent of like a Roger Corman movie from like the 70s. Something like Piranha, something like that. Except this had the budget. It had the budget to actually pull off most of what it tries to pull off visually. Anyways. Renny Harlin is this kind of director. He's always he has a history of kind of doing schlocky stuff all the way back, in his earliest goings. His first, I think, American movie is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream something or other. What is it? The Dream Master. He does Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, Cutthroat Island, Long Kiss Goodnight, Deep Blue Sea. And then his career just goes in a weird direction where because all those movies were kind of hits that I just said. Those were all hits. They all did financially well. Most people have heard of them and like them. And then he just goes into kind of really, really shitty territory. Driven, Mindhunters, Exorcist the Beginning, The Covenant, 12 Rounds, 5 Days. So, yeah, this was kind of the last of the classic Renny Harlin era that he had like a decade run where he did these kind of silly movies that most people like and are kind of passively entertaining at the very least. And Deep Blue Sea, I would say more often than not works for what it is. It's got all the stupid shit that you would think would be in a movie like this. Except in a Renny Harlin is a little bit, he will always imbue his stuff with a little bit of self-awareness. There's almost like this kind of comic pulp sensibility to what he does. And he always, in respect to Renny Harlin as a director, he's the kind of guy that is really great at doing parts of a movie or a story or something like this, these schlocky movies. He's great at setting it up. The first 45 minutes, Deep Blue Sea included, are kind of really great, and they promise a movie that the movie kind of sort of delivers on. It just never lives up to, I guess, the premise. And he does a great job of kind of casting. Kind of got that Michael Bay-ish thing where he casts kind of above what you would normally see in a movie like this. Gives it some sort of, I don't want to say gravity, but it gives it some credibility. It makes it feel like a real movie. And and he's not having to pull from the fucking, old washed up actors like Roger Corman, but no, he's like pulling, Tom Jane was a big up and comer. Saffron Burrows, she was kind of an up and comer at the time. Sam Jackson, who's already like a legend. He was already kind of a staple. Stellan Skarsgård, he was new in America. LL Cool J, of course. Deepest Bluest Shark Fin. Rapper LL Cool J. This would have been in the grouping of his first movies he was in. I think the first movie he was in was the Halloween H2O in 1997. So this would have been in that range of first movies. And when I did that analysis, I actually thought LL Cool J might have been one of the first people to die when I was talking about the music video, but I was wrong. I mean, he lives all the way through. He gets his own scenes, like by himself. It's like one of those things where you're like, his agent probably approached them. It was like, can we give LL can we give him some moments? I mean, he gets literally an entire sequence where he fends off one of the three sharks, these brainiac sharks, by himself, literally by himself. It's one of the funnier bits in the movie, actually. I don't know, not even saying intentionally. Although, like I said, I think Renny Harlin he puts in some self-awareness there. He knows what he's doing to a certain degree. He knows what he's making. He has a problem though in like kind of pacing, like keeping things interesting after, at like midway through the second act, because this kind of takes on the structure almost like of a slasher movie, but instead of having Jason or Freddy or Mike Myers, it's sharks, and they're literally hunting them through this underwater science facility. It's like literally hunting them down, like one of those monsters. And he just has a hard time. I mean, it might have been a limitation because it's all CG. It looks all CG. All of the big shark stuff looks completely CGI. I don't know if there was really any practical sharks there outside of maybe having like a fin. I could be wrong about that, but it did not register that way, because they used the shark pretty sparingly, all things considered, and then not in like a smart way where it's there to like build tension, like say like Jaws or something. Although that was also an accident, they just were able to make it work. They don't do that in this because you already know what you're dealing with. It's not even like they're different kinds of sharks as far as I can tell, which is kind of a shame. You think that maybe they would have had like different breeds of shark, different kinds of sharks as the enemies, because they all kind of just bleed together. Like, is one of them, you don't ever get a sense of the sharks, how intelligent they are in terms of like, are they coordinating? They kind of imply that like, well, they've got some sort of plan, and we don't know why they're hunting us, really. You never get a sense that they're at all intelligent up until they kind of have to like point it out to you, because they just act like sharks. And the big thing that like makes they point to say that they're like super smart sharks is that they try to knock doors down as they're kind of making their way through the waters in this underground base, making their way through the base, hunting the folks down. Yeah. I would say, I was surprised at how reserved it is after like kind of the setup, and after this one big moment, or there's two big moments that are almost kind of like redundant, where Stellan Skarsgård gets his arm bitten off, and then Sam Jackson gives like this great, hero speech about survival and man versus beast, and then he gets eaten by the shark. And it's a fun moment. And it shows you that there is some self-awareness to what is going on here. It was a smart play to do that because of casting Sam Jackson. You think he's going to be a hero throughout the movie. And honestly, I would have rather Sam Jackson been in this movie longer than, say, like LL Cool J. LL Cool J is not a good actor. He's one of these rappers that just like I guess they thought that was just career trajectory. Because of music videos, because of MTV, you were more than just a musician. You were like a celebrity. You could become a product. And that's kind of what it feels like. And like I said, it does like feel like the agent went in there like, we had like a scene where he's like, he faces off against one of these killer sharks. Maybe he says a cool line. And that he does. I can't remember what it was exactly. I sent it to Prophet, the past and future goddamn Prophet, because this is his fault. Like this whole thing, I hold him personally responsible. I hold him personally responsible. Now let me see if I can pull the video up. See if we can hear it on here. You can hear at least the audio. Ready? Here we go. Yeah. He says to him, "You ate my bird," because he had a bird. That was like his character development. Is that he had this bird? That was like a character piece that they put in there. Be like, oh, he's like the ship's cook, the religious man. He wears crosses. He talks about God, and he's got a bird. Well, then the shark ate the bird, so he's like, I guess I gotta kill you now. I guess she was done. I like the cast though. I like Tom Jane. I've always been a big, or the rest of the cast. I like Tom Jane. I've always been kind of a Tom Jane person. I would even say that I like Tom Jane's Frank Castle, The Punisher. I actually really enjoy that movie. It's been a while since I've watched it, so maybe I should revisit it. Maybe I'll revisit it one of these days in the near future, but I always like Tom Jane. I don't know why. Like, whenever he shows up in something or he's on a show, it'll make me feel like I want to watch it. Whether or not I actually end up doing it, it's another story, but it is at least something that like helps sell it to me for some reason. I don't know what it is about Tom Jane. I just have always liked him, What else could I say about this? Yeah, I wish it was crazier. Because it is, like I said, it's so sparing with the shark. It's probably the CGI stuff. I wish it was just more over the top at some point. It feels like it should go off the rails, and it never really quite does. It starts taking itself more seriously in the middle, and then kind of goes back to being goofy for the final moments of the movie. But yeah, it's like, and this is something I've just noticed with a lot of Renny Harlin movies. I don't know why, but he just always, his middles like suck. He just cannot like develop on a premise, and then you just have to go to the third act for like a climax. That that would work or not work, I guess, based in a vacuum, really. Like, it almost feels disconnected from the movie you've been watching. But I don't know. I can't say it's a classic, but even having said all that, I did kind of enjoy watching it. It's like a good, bad movie. It's a stupid movie. Shut your brain off and watch for 90 minutes kind of movie. And for that, you could do a lot worse. It could have been worse, Could have been worse. It might surprise you. I don't know. Maybe you'll love it. Maybe it'll be your favorite movie. Maybe you're probably watching this being like, Deep Blue Sea is fucking rad, dude. This guy is wrong. This guy's a troll. Fuck this troll, man. Fuck this Deep Blue Sea hating troll. Fucking deepest, bluest shark fin is the fucking masterpiece, dog. TRL. Top 40. Masterpiece. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to know more about Zoobox, check out some stuff in the description. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's my personal Twitter. Also, if you'd like to make a recommendation for one of these daily videos, something for Zoobox Goes to the Movies, or even something for the main show, for Zoobox Prime, a topic you'd like to hear discussed, leave it in the comments, and we'll throw it on the list. All right, everybody. You have a great one.